Welcome back to Travel Trailer Nation, Travel Trailer Friends. We are about 4 months into the burn on the new Delta 294RK. So I thought this would be a good time to just give you guys an update on what I think of it. And I would say that at this point, I'm going to say on a satisfaction scale of 1 to 10, I'm at an 8. Tammy said she thinks that's too low. So I think she's probably at a 9. But I think an 8 for a brand new travel trailer is really pretty good. So keep in mind, though, I still have about 8 months remaining on the warranty. So we'll see what shakes out as we start to traverse the country this year. But today I thought what I would do is I would go through where I thought Alliance did really well and where I think they were probably less than stellar. And keep in mind, there's no perfect travel trailer. You're always going to find things on a new travel trailer that need to be repaired or tweaked a little bit. Hopefully you don't run into something that's major and have serious problems. So let's talk about what Alliance has done correctly. The Asdel construction is great. It's one less thing to have to worry about. It's on the walls and on the floor. I love the Imagine construction. It was solid, but I stayed up on it constantly. So because I knew that delamination was a possibility. So a little less of a concern with the Asdel, of course, because there isn't going to be delamination, but you still need to stay up on things. But anyway, I think that's a great improvement over the Imagine. They also have PEX plumbing throughout, except at the water pump. So that's a huge improvement as well. Solid surface countertops are great. There's a lot of people, including Grand Design, that does that wrap, that vinyl wrap countertop. And if you get water behind it, it's going to bubble up and you're going to have a problem and you're going to end up having to replace your countertop. So solid surface countertops, huge, huge advantage. And then the design and the interior is just outstanding. Windows all the way around the trailer. We didn't have that with the Grand Design. We had one window back by the couch, a small one, and then the only other window facing that side of the trailer would be the egress window in the bedroom. The slides that they have in the Delta are the Exact Slide, not the AccuSlide, the Exact Slide, much better than the AccuSlide. And then they have a rack and pinion slide on the refrigerator couch side of the unit. And believe me, both of those are much better alternatives to the Schwintek slide system. I know that from personal experience, and if you've watched my videos, you'll know that I became kind of an expert in popping motors in and out. So I'm happy to get away from the Schwintek system. Continuing on the interior, there's more storage than you'll ever be able to utilize. So it is definitely a great trailer from a storage standpoint. It has a great open floor plan. The only thing I wish it had just a little bit more of is a little space between the counter and the fireplace so I could get Eva's crate in there easier. But that's not a problem that anyone else is going to have other than me. It also has a decent sized bathroom and bedroom, easy to walk around the bed. They put a lot of thought into the bedroom. And then they have dimmers on the lights in the living room. That's something that I had to add before. And pretty much all the lighting in the trailer was well thought out. It seems that whoever designed this trailer, you would almost think that they had spent time in it before they came up with the final design, because the livability is great. I can't really think of anything that they missed from an amenity standpoint. All right, let's talk about what Alliance could have done better. And some of these will apply just to us, and then others will be more globally, would probably apply to people that bought the trailer like we did. So let's start with what we found in the outdoor entertainment area, which was when they had wired for satellite, someone actually cut the wire underneath the trailer going to that satellite feed and then just taped it into the bundle as if it was still intact. And so that had to be fixed, and it was fixed under warranty, but that was kind of a source of frustration. It made me wonder whether there was really anyone going through the unit checking continuity when that trailer was made. Now, the Bastion jack, the tongue jack that they're currently putting on that unit is frankly really cheap. And I'll tell you how I know that, because it weighs about a fifth of what the Lippert tongue jack weighs. Now, I think Alliance could have put the Lippert on there, and they probably would have, it would probably cost them another $25 per unit to do that. And the nice thing about the Lippert is you can actually rotate it. So if you have like a Dodge, like I do, and you want to utilize your tailgate, open it up, and keep in mind I have a topper on my truck, so I like to put stuff in there, load, unload, while hooked up, and I couldn't do that with the Bastion. So you could, but it would mean boogering things up, so drilling new holes and everything else, and I wasn't going to get into that mess. So anyone that's got a Ram is going to have an issue with the Bastion. You're probably better off just going and getting a Lippert and putting that on, and you'll be happy again. But to me, that would have been an easy thing to do at the factory. Just put Lippert on there. The roof on the Alliance is a PVC roof. It's the first PVC roof I've ever had. I think it leaves a lot to be desired. But that's me. Most manufacturers, I don't think I've ever been blown away by a roof, other than the Jaycos. I thought they were done really well, but we'll see how this goes. And then the next thing is they have some sort of a passion at Alliance about putting stickers all over the inside and outside of the trailer. Things like tall slide on the inside of the trailer. I started peeling that sticker off, and it took some of the artificial wood grain with it. And they, of course, they took care of that. And that is not, so when I said, some of these things are global, that's not just a complaint I've had. I've seen multiple complaints about that. If I were them, if I were Alliance, what I would do is I'd make a feature sheet and I would tape it onto each countertop and be done with it. I don't think you need to put a sticker everywhere in that trailer. And I mean, there were lots of stickers that needed to be removed. I called it the endless parade of stickers, because it was. So again, not just my complaint, but a lot of other people were complaining about it. Now, here's an interesting thing. The power cord, the 7-way power cord that goes from the trailer to the truck, was enormous. It was very long, and I don't know why they did that. They had actually looped it around the Bastion jack because it was so long. And how I remedied it was I ended up going under the A-frame, making several loops in that cord, and then attaching it to the side of the A-frame underneath. I'll throw a picture up here so you can look at it. But the long and short is Alliance could have easily remedied that at the factory by cutting it to length. They still have to wire it into the box the same way. I mean, theoretically, I could do the same thing, but I wasn't that bored. All right, going back to the interior a little bit. The door on the pantry can't be opened all the way because it hits the fascia on the slide, and that's going to make it hard to take the power center out or the converter if you ever have an issue. Also, that doorknob goes right up against that fascia, and that's going to basically mar it, probably take that artificial wood grain off. So we put a soft felt pad on the doorknob. You could always change the knob out too, to just one of those that are recessed, and you just reach inside the cavity and turn it. I may look into that at some point, but I'm fine with it with the pad on it. But I'll probably have to pop that door off if I ever have to get in at the converter. The Furrion 12-volt refrigerator is a short and long-term problem, possibly. So if your power goes out and then it comes on again, and let's say you're in storage or you're just storing it temporarily and you have a power outage and it comes back on again, chances are it's going to start that refrigerator again. And to me, that's something they need to remedy. I would like to know that when I store my unit and I pop those doors open a hair, and keep in mind my unit is right here on the property, that it's not going to restart that refrigerator. So that's something I think they should basically take care of at the factory. Put a kill switch somewhere nearby, or wire it so that the refrigerator is on a breaker and you can turn the breaker off and solve it that way. The other thing that I have is just in general with 12-volt refrigerators, they don't have a very good track record. So we'll see. So far, I'm very happy with it, but we'll see how it goes. Then they have 3 outdoor shower hookups on this unit, and I've never seen anything like that before. I think 1 is plenty. If you can't walk around to a shower hookup, you need 3 of them. That's a problem. I am not sure why they went that route, and I'm not sure how they ever got that off the out of the design mode, because to me that's just more of a nightmare when you're winterizing, to go through and deal with all those exterior showers. Like again, I don't know how it got off the design table. The other problem, and this is more global as well, is that the backsplash on that unit inside on the kitchen wall, typically the back wall, ours was not adhered completely. And again, that is another thing that I have read many complaints about. Lastly, and this just applies to us, we had a bad toilet seal, and that's not a big deal. We noticed antifreeze around the bottom of the toilet when we picked it up, but someone had just slopped it. Then we went down to do a shakeout trip, and there was antifreeze there again. So that got fixed under warranty, not a big deal. Certainly nothing that would have been a showstopper. And then I will say that I think their dump handles could be much stronger. They feel flimsy. They're hard to pull. They're hard to push back in. We've had them taken care of, but I still think they could have used something more substantial in that area. And then lastly, I want to give a shout out to the tech that worked on our trailer at the dealership, Tim. He is the best tech that I have ever dealt with. And as you can imagine, because you know I work on my own stuff, not under warranty, but I do otherwise. I don't trust people with my travel trailers, but Tim would be the exception. He's just as concerned about the things that are wrong and need to be fixed as I am. So big shout out to him. He does excellent work. It's always a pleasure to deal with him. And, you know, when I took my trailer in, take care of a number of items, it wasn't there for a week, it was there for a couple days, and he did an outstanding job. So an awesome guy. So that's it. I wanted to give you guys a straight scoop. I know some of this is just my opinion, like the long power cord, you know, that kind of thing, but other things are more associated with experiences that a lot of different people have had. But I wanted to shoot it to you straight because, like I've said many times, there is no perfect travel trailer. And this one comes pretty close, so I gotta say. So anyway, that's it. Until next time, folks, happy camping.